තුර්කී IS එකත් එක්ක සම්බන්ධතා පවත්වනවා කියලා ආරක්ෂක මණ්ඩලයට දැනුම් දුන්නේ. ඒ දැනුම් දීම නොසලකා හැරී යහපරණාන. ඒවා එදා ගානකට ගත්තනම් ඔය පාස්පිරිදා ප්‍රහාරය වළක්වන්න ඕන තරම් හැකියාව තිබුණා. ඔය කියන ඉන්දියාවේ තොරතුරු වෙන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. වෙන කවුරුත් නෙමෙයි සලේලා. අනතුරු අංගවපු මිනිහම ඒකේ වරදකාරයෙක් කරලා අත්අඩංගුවට ගන්නව නම් මොකක්ද ඒ රාජ්‍ය? දැන් ඊළඟට මේගොල්ලෝ ගන්න තීරණය කළා තියෙන්නේ ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ. ඒකට තමයි සලේ මගින් ඊළඟට පොටපාද ගන්න හදන්නේ එතනට. මේ නිකම් ප්‍රබන්ධ කතාවක්. ගෝඨාභය රාජපක්ෂ කියන ඒගොල්ලෝ කියන විදිහට උග්‍ර සිංහල බෞද්ධයනේ. උග්‍ර සිංහල බෞද්ධයෙක්ව ජනාධිපති කරන්න සහරාන්න ජීවිත පරිත්‍යාග කරයිද? මොනවද මේ වඳුරු කුරුහරුප? සහරාන්ට එනම් පිස්සු වෙන්න ඕන. ISIS එකට අමතරව තව පිස්සුකුත් තියෙන්න ඕන.
Meanwhile, investigators continue to interrogate General Saleh regarding these Sunday terror attacks. Authorities seek a 90-day detention order under the Prevention of Terrorism Act. Saleh was arrested in Paliagoda on the 25th and is currently held under a 72-hour detention period. Opposition leader Sajith Premadasa claims the government is preparing a new tender while the country faces a severe coal import crisis. Premadasa shared these views with the media after visiting Venerable Vilangama Chandraratna Thera at the Sri Heva Singharame in Aranayaka in Kegol. And in the interest of clarity, we refrain from dubbing his remarks.
අපේ රටේ ගල්ලංගුරු ආනයන ශාස්ත්‍රයේ බරපතල අර්බුදයක් උග්‍ර ගැටලුවක් නිර්මාණය වෙලා තිබෙන එක ඉතාමත්ම පැහැදිලි. විශේෂයෙන්ම රජය නව ටෙන්ඩරයක් ක්‍රියාත්මක කරන්නට සැලසුම් කරලා තිබෙනවා. ඒ ටෙන්ඩරය අත් වශයෙන්ම දාලා තියෙනවා. තාම ඕපන් කරලා නැහැ. එය අත් වශයෙන්ම හදිසි මිලදී ගැනීම. මේ ස්පොට් ටෙන්ඩරේ ටර්ම් ටෙන්ඩරේ මිශ්‍රණයකින් යන්නේ නැතුව එක පාරටම හදිසි මිලදී ගැනීමකට රජය යොමු වෙලා තිබෙනවා. ගල්ලංගුරු ටොන් ලක්ෂ 3ක් ඒ කියන්නේ දල වශයෙන් කියනවා නම් 95ක් ප්‍රමිතිය ප්‍රශ්නේ ප්‍රමාණීය ප්‍රශ්නේ ඒ වගේම ප්‍රමාදයේ ප්‍රශ්නේ මේ ප්‍රධාන ප්‍රශ්න තුන නිසා අද ගල්ලංගුරු ශාස්ත්‍රයේ මහා පරිමාණයේ වංචාවක් සිදු වෙලා තිබෙනවා කියන එක අපි පැහැදිලිවම ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා. මේ වංචාව නිසා රටටත් ජනතාවටත් රජයටත් විදුලි පාරිභෝගිකයටත් විශාල පාඩුවක් සිද්ධ වෙලා තිබෙනවා. මේ ගල්ලංගුරු වංචාවේ මහා මොළ කරුව කවුද? ඒ නිසා ජනාධිපතිවරයා ප්‍රමුඛ රජයේ වගකීමක් මේ ගල්ලංගුරු වංචාව පිළිබඳව රටට සත්‍ය හෙළිදරව් කරන්න.
A revealing interview on Hiru's exchange program with Indika Liyanhevage of the Joint Apparel Association Forum exposed deep anxieties within Sri Lanka's flagship export sector. As global trade dynamics shift under the new US tariff regimes and regional competitors like India securing historic deals with the EU, Sri Lankan industry leaders warn that the government is manufacturing problems rather than solving them. From the loss of a level playing field to administrative chaos in free trade zones, the industry claims it is being forced into a reverse gear that threatens its $5 billion contribution to the national economy. Liyanhevage explains how the shift to a 10% flat US tariff, while seemingly fair, actually strips Sri Lanka of the specialized advantages it once held over competitors like India. He argues that a level playing field is actually a nightmare for a country with high labor costs and no raw material base.
Ideal situation is a zero tariff, but the problem is at the moment every country have 10% tariff. They said that it's going to be 15, but it's clear now it's 10% across the board. Every country has 10%. So therefore now we have, in terms of tariff, we have a level playing field. Earlier we had 20%, whereas Bangladesh 19%, like that. There were different tariffs. So there were, for example, when India had about 50%, we were at advantage. But now that advantage is no more there. So therefore there will be challenge how to figure it out in terms of landed cost to USA.
The industry is bracing for a reversal of the equation as India secures zero tariff access to the EU, a market where Sri Lanka's current GSP Plus advantage is set to expire in 2027. Liyanhevage warns that without indefinite trade agreements, customers will inevitably flee to India.
Lanka has some commitments to meet in order to renew GSP Plus, and GSP Plus is a requirement-based system, whereas the trade agreement is indefinite. Do you think this could lead foreign direct investments out of Sri Lanka?
If we lose GSP Plus in 2027, then we will get into tariff. Then in that case, assuming we lose, right, we will be paying 10 to 12% tariff when it is landing to Europe, whereas India will not pay anything. So definitely the equation will reverse then. Then we will be paying tariffs when it is entering Europe. The government, as far as I know, they have started negotiations with the Europe, so that has to be sorted out to how to prolong it.
In a scathing critique of recent administrative changes, including moving compliance checks from the BOI to customs and the removal of the SVAT system, Lianheveke argues that the government is actively troubleshooting its own industries instead of helping them.
Like I always say, we don't want a help kind of a thing. But if we are not troubled, that will be a big help.
Are you being troubled?
At the moment, now there is clarity on this matter. Like, for example, BOI to customs. So we have clarity, adding to the problem. Let's say this is adding to the problem. So therefore, I can't see that it has improved. If there are problems adding, SVAT going, right? 45 days keeping our money somewhere, right? This is going reverse now. This is going backwards. This is not going forward. So therefore, the government has to take steps to take it forward rather than going in the reverse gear. So that's important for economy and the industry.
Expect the full conversation with Indika Lianheveke on the exchange program on the Hero News International YouTube channel soon. Now moving on, at a time when Sri Lanka is aiming towards growth, more investments from India are welcome. This was said by Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya as she addressed an event to celebrate India's 77th Republic Day and Sri Lanka's 78th Independence Day, organised by the Sri Lanka India Society. Also addressing the event, Indian High Commissioner in Colombo Santosh Jha commented on how economic cooperation between the two countries grew during the last year.
We have seen India emerge as Sri Lanka's most trusted partner. India last year emerged for the first time as the second largest destination for Sri Lankan exports. That position had earlier been occupied by the United Kingdom, and India is now the second largest export destination for Sri Lankan exports. Our investment relationship is also quite remarkable. Last year, more than 50% of the investment that came to Sri Lanka came from India or were routed through third countries, but originally were from the Indian companies.
The Prime Minister then commented on the necessity of Indian investments to the island nation.
As Sri Lanka continues on its path from recovery to a more resilient and sustainable future, we welcome increased connections and investment from Indian businesses and greater tourism flows from India as well. And we know that this will grow and prosper and continue to strengthen our economic and cultural ties.
Now for some news in brief.
Zohara Buhari, a former member of the Colombo Municipal Council, filed a writ application in the Court of Appeal seeking an order against the Sri Lanka Muslim Congress's decision to terminate her membership.
The business news on Gold FM.
The all-share price index of the Colombo Stock Exchange closed at 23,734.06 points after declining by 47.17 points. The S&P SL20 index ended at 6,635.97 points, following a 74.20 point decline. Turnover totaled 7 billion rupees.
International news on Gold FM.
Pakistan launched major overnight airstrikes on targets across Afghanistan, including the capital Kabul, following intense cross-border clashes. Defense Minister Khawaja Asif declared an all-out war as Islamabad claimed the deaths of 228 Taliban fighters during the operation. In response, the Taliban reported 55 Pakistani soldiers died in the fighting and confirmed the destruction of several military posts on both sides. The Afghan Defense Ministry deployed drone strikes against Pakistani military positions as tensions escalated further. The Taliban spokesperson accused Pakistan of avoiding diplomatic dialogue and destabilizing the regional balance. He described the Tehrik-e-Taliban Pakistan issue as a domestic matter for Islamabad and maintained that Afghanistan's relationship with India poses no threat to Pakistan. Both nations reported civilian casualties and the capture of strategic port installations as the conflict intensified.
Entertainment news on Gold FM.
Paramount Pictures recorded $7.5 million in previews for the Spyglass co-production Scream 7, marking a new record for the horror franchise. This figure surpasses the previous high set by Scream 6, which earned $5.5 million in previews before a record-breaking global debut. The film debuted exclusively in premium formats including IMAX and ScreenX auditoriums for the first time in the series' history.
Sports news on Gold FM.
Ananda College finished the first day of the 96th Battle of the Maroons in a commanding position at the Sinhalese Sports Club. Nethule Edriman anchored the innings with a brilliant unbeaten 150, guiding his team to a formidable total of 325 for the loss of 5 wickets before a declaration. Ovin Pereira provided crucial support with a well-played half-century, contributing 53 runs to the scoreboard. On the bowling side, Osanda Pamudita emerged as the pick of the Nalanda attack, claiming 2 wickets for 60 runs. New Zealand captain Mitchell Santner won the toss and elected to bat first in today's crucial T20 World Cup Super 8 fixture against England at the R. Premadasa Stadium in Colombo. While England already secured a place in the semi-finals, the Black Caps require a victory to guarantee their spot in the final 4 and officially eliminate Pakistan from the tournament. And that's all the news for now. Stay tuned to Gold FM for the latest updates and the news roundup of the day at 8:30 p.m.